Welcome to Yoga Your Heart with Deb. Welcome to my channel. If you practice yoga with me, please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on a weekly video. There's a wide variety of videos, different styles, different lengths of time that will fit perfectly into your busy schedule. Thanks for joining me today. Today is a pose breakdown video. I'm going to just break down what Warrior One looks like and feels like. Sometimes it's nice to just take a moment, break down a pose and study it just a little bit, so when you're working in a flow class, either in person or just online, it just flows easier because your body has now kind of got used to how the sensations are when you're in that pose, what it feels like, and you learn to just kind of adjust it according to your needs, because that's the thing with these yoga poses is it feels different for everybody. It looks different for everybody. Even though the instructor is giving you cues and kind of telling you what to do, just know that this is just kind of a broad outline, but you need to personalize it the best for you, whatever feels right for you, because we are all built differently. We have different injuries, different histories, different bone structure. I mean, the way we're put together is just slightly different, so we can all look slightly different, and that's okay. So it takes a lot of practice just to put your attention inward and just start paying attention to what your body's telling you. So that's why I like to do these pose breakdowns and just kind of study it. So here we go. Let's do a Warrior One position. We're just going to start by standing up. So on your mat, I want you to stand up. I'm going to stand facing the front of my mat here. I'm going to put my hands on my waist. Put your feet side by side, and before we do anything, just ground your feet into the mat. Draw your belly up and in, chest up, and just gaze forward. Keep your chin parallel with the mat. This is not Warrior One, but it's just a moment to start in, and I want you to just pay attention. We're going to start practicing just paying attention. What does it feel like when I ground my feet into the mat? You know, my feet, the weight of my body is even in each foot. I'm not leaning on the left side more than the right. I'm trying to keep my weight even in between my legs. I'm trying to stay nice and tall by bringing my belly in, my chin parallel with the mat, so I'm active even though I'm just standing. So a lot of these yoga poses, you're active even when you're holding still. Your body is working. All right, we're going to transition to actual Warrior One position now. I'm going to bring my right foot forward, past my left foot, and I'm going to bring my left foot back just a little bit, okay? And just take a minute here, and I want you just to look at your feet. Make sure you're just not on a balance beam, because if your feet are lined up, you're going to topple to the left, topple to the right. That's not what we're looking for. So just kind of adjust it. I'm pretty wide here. Sometimes people do heel to heel alignment or wider, okay? And I like to go wide enough that I can keep my hips squared forward. So go ahead and put your hands on your hips and square them forward. If you need to adjust the left leg to get those hips squared forward, you can. And your right knee is the only one that's bending. So your left leg, you're taking that bend out of your left leg. All right, take your hands, make them straight. See where your fingers are pointing. If they're not pointing forward, your hips aren't squared. So you're going to make sure that your hips are forward. All right. After that, you can take your hands on your hips. Start leaning into your right knee and back leg straight. Again, not on a balance beam. Let's think about our legs for a second. Think about that back left leg. All right, even though it's holding still, it's really actively working quite hard for us. Now, think about the weight in your left foot. Where is the weight right now? What I want you to concentrate on doing is taking the weight in your foot and then just pushing it into the outer edge of that left foot. So if you feel the weight going inward, as you press down into your foot and press into the outer edge of that left foot, you're going to be evening your weight out a lot more. And it's going to be very subtle, and I probably wouldn't know by looking at you if you were doing it or not. Okay, so just take some conscious effort and just notice how that feels as you really roll into the outer edge of that left foot. As you do that, you'll discover probably that your left leg is quite engaged in this pose. In fact, my left leg is more engaged, and I'm really feeling it more than my right leg now because of all the activity that I'm putting into it right now by evening my weight, sealing the outer edge of that left foot. It's working quite hard. My right knee is bending. It doesn't need to be bending that deep. My hips are squared forward. Good. Bring your belly up in just a little bit. All right. And you're going to have your heart lifted. You're standing nice and tall. Go ahead and bring your arms down by your sides and then bring them up to the sky. So legs are staying the same. Belly is drawing in. Now my fingertips are reaching, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my my pinky fingers, I'm rolling them in a little bit. And as I'm doing that, take your shoulders and relax them down. All right? So that action of rolling your pinkies in towards each other helps you relax your shoulders. So that's why oftentimes I'll say roll your pinkies in, relax your shoulders. Good. And my head and my face is just gazing forward, nice and calm. And now breathe. I want you to take a massive inhale through your nose. And then breathe out through your nose. Exhale everything. Do that again. Breathe in and breathe out. Now keep breathing. And as you stand here, and you'll really start feeling it in that left leg. I mean, it's so active. It looks so easy when I just look at someone in this pose, but when you're really in it and you're really concentrating on sealing the outer edge of that left foot in there down to the mat, I mean, you realize how much you're engaging that left leg. It's quite hard. It's quite difficult the more you hold it. Take another inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down, hands to your waist. Good. And then just step it forward. Woo, man, I really feel it in that left leg, just holding it. So if you want to just kind of walk it out, we'll do the same thing, warrior one, and the left side, just to kind of even it out and give us a little more practice. All right. So for warrior one on the left side, you're going to bring your left foot more forward and your right foot back behind you. So just take a moment here and make sure you're not on a balance beam, okay? Because if you're on a balance beam, you're going to topple over. Like I said, some people like to do heel to heel alignment, the front heel and back heel kind of aligned. I actually like my stance just a little bit wider because it's easier for me to get my hips squared off. So it really depends on how you're put together and what you're feeling. And again, you're going to adjust it just slightly. But the basic idea is you're not on a balance beam and your hips are squared forward. Your left knee is bending and your back right leg is not bending it straight. Okay, once you get your feet wide enough apart so your hips are what you think is squared forward, go ahead and put your hands on your hips. Okay, and then take your fingers out and see where they're facing. Like I'm kind of slightly going that way, so I feel like I need to square my hips out just a little bit more. So I'm going to just, with my hands, kind of guide my hips forward. Again, I can kind of just measure it out here and see where my hips are at. And it feels like they're forward now. All right, and as I'm doing this, once you get your hips squared forward, think about your left knee is bending, your right leg is straight, and now focus on the weight in your back foot. Again, so if you feel like your weight is kind of more on the inside of your foot, I want you to focus on pressing your foot flat into the mat and really just taking the right edge of your foot and just pressing it into the mat, and then that's evening that weight out in that back right foot, and that changes everything on that right leg because now I'm really working that right leg big time. So this pose, the more you practice at it and the more you really even out that weight in that back leg, you'll start feeling this is a real back leg kind of pose here. I'm going to put my hands on my hips. I have my back right foot, the outer edge of that right foot sealed into the mat. I'm gazing forward. I draw my belly up and in, try to stand nice and tall. All right, this is the warrior one feet. Let's go ahead and bring our arms up to the sky. Let's bring our arms into it. Again, you reach up. Think about your pinky fingers. Roll them in slightly. Relax your shoulders down. Gazing straight ahead. This is warrior one. Breathe nice and deep. Massive inhale in. Massive exhale out. Keep breathing. Keep holding. Keep the weight even. Keep the breath flowing. And you'll start feeling it pretty quickly in that back leg. So it's amazing that this still pose that you're in, really working your body, the more you hold it, the harder it is. Just breathe through, stay nice and calm. Almost there. We're not going to stay here forever. Take another massive inhale. exhale, just release your hands onto your waist, and then you're just going to step it forward, get out of it, and just kind of walk it out a little bit. So that's my breakdown of Warrior One. You'll see it in a lot of different yoga flows. Practice it so that way when you do get into it, now you know what it feels like. You know what it means when I say seal down the outer edge of that back foot into the mat. You'll know what it means and what it feels like when you take your weight even into your legs or into your foot. It takes a lot of practice and self-awareness, and that doesn't always come naturally, but the more you do it, the more you practice at it, it will come naturally. So I hope this tutorial helps for you for Warrior One. Keep tuning into this channel, subscribe so you don't miss out on a yoga video. I have videos to suit any type of day you're having, so feel free to go through, check it out, and join me. Check out yogayourheartwithdeb.com for more, and have an amazing day. Namaste.